We all want certainty, a clear path, a promise that our next step will not lead to pain. We want to see the full staircase before we climb. We want guarantees, safety, and control. But life does not hand out maps. It gives us moments of faith, moments where the only way forward is to move without knowing what comes next. Sometimes the bridge only appears after you start walking. How many dreams have you delayed just because you could not see the bridge yet? There was once a young man named Kael who stood at the edge of a deep canyon. On the other side was everything he had ever wanted, a new life, a fresh beginning, a chance to become the person he knew he could be. But between him and that future was nothing, just air, just the wide, open void. He stood there for days, watching the mist rise from the canyon floor, listening to the wind and waiting. He told himself he would cross when the bridge was ready, when someone showed him the way, when it felt safe. On the third morning, an old woman appeared beside him. She was bent with age, her hands rough from years of work. She carried a worn leather satchel and a walking stick carved from dark wood. She looked out over the canyon and smiled gently. "You have been standing here a long time," she said. Kael nodded. "I am waiting for the bridge." The woman tilted her head. "What bridge?" He gestured toward the canyon. "The one that will take me across. I cannot see it yet, but it must be coming. Someone will build it. I just have to wait." The old woman sat down on a stone and looked at him with quiet understanding. "No one is coming, child. No one will build it for you." Kael's heart sank. "Then, how am I supposed to cross?" The woman stood and walked to the very edge of the canyon. She tapped her walking stick against the ground. "The bridge will not appear until you take the first step." Kael stared at her. "That is impossible. I will fall." "Perhaps," she said. "Or perhaps the bridge is already there. You just cannot see it yet." She turned and walked away, leaving Kael alone with his fear. Days passed. The canyon remained. The mist swirled below, and Kael stayed frozen at the edge. But something the woman said kept echoing in his mind. "The bridge will not appear until you take the first step." Finally, one quiet dawn, he could not stand it anymore. He closed his eyes. He took a breath, and he stepped forward into the void. His foot landed on something solid. He gasped and opened his eyes. Beneath his shoe was a single plank of wood, weathered, rough, but real. It had appeared the moment he stepped. His heart pounded. He lifted his other foot and took another step. Another plank appeared, then another, and another. With every step he took, the bridge built itself beneath him. He could only see one plank at a time. He could not see the other side. He could not see how long it would take. But he kept walking because now he understood. The bridge was not waiting for him. It was waiting on him. The mist thickened. His legs trembled. Doubt whispered in his ear. But he did not stop. Step by step, plank by plank, the bridge formed. And finally, after what felt like hours, his foot touched solid ground on the other side. He turned back. The bridge was still there, stretching across the canyon, faint and flickering. It was made not of stone or steel, but of something far stronger: trust. The old woman stood at the far edge watching. She raised her hand in a quiet salute and then disappeared into the mist. Kael stood there, breathing hard, tears streaming down his face. He had crossed. Not because the bridge was ready, but because he was. The path you are afraid to take might be the one that builds itself beneath your feet. The process is never clear. You will not see the whole picture. You will not know how long it will take. You will not have guarantees. But clarity does not come from waiting. It comes from movement, from trust, from taking the first step, even when you cannot see the second. We spend so much of our lives waiting for certainty, for the perfect moment, for someone to show us the way. But the bridge does not appear because we wait. It appears because we walk. Every dream you have ever had, every goal you have delayed, every life you have imagined but never started, they are all on the other side of a canyon. And the bridge is already there. You just cannot see it yet. Do not wait for the bridge to appear. Walk and believe. Move forward even when the ground beneath you feels invisible, because the bridge is not built by time. It is built by your courage, your faith, and your refusal to stay stuck at the edge. The canyon is wide, the mist is thick, but the bridge is there. It always has been. It is just waiting for you to take the first step, so take it. The bridge appears only when you move. What first step have you been too afraid to take, and will you take it today?